and welcome to another live paint and chat. Hey guys, how you doing tonight? It's Wednesday, November 4th, and tonight we are going to be painting the Greylord Taskmaster, and most importantly, as someone already pointed out in the chat, thank you Lorraine, this beautiful puppy. It's a war puppy. So, that's sort of the focus there. I kind of got some base coats down before we started so that I could maybe be a little bit less boring to watch when we're trying to get base coats down. But I'm not done, so you'll still have to watch a little bit of base coating. But welcome everybody. I hope you guys are all doing all right. Let's give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Oh, hi Jason. Savage, welcome to the chat. War budgies, I don't know what a Greylord is, but the tall hat is impressive. Okay, so a Greylord, they're essentially the wizards of Khador. They are really fascinated with occult objects for power, and so the Greylord are actually sort of their own sect within the sort of governmental body of the Khadoran Empire, and they really work hard to seek out Orgoth artifacts and things that were abandoned from back when all of humanity was enslaved under Orgoth rule. And so the Greylords, you know, they're just sort of sneaky wizards. If you were to take, like, you know, any of the popular secret societies and add actual magic to it, kind of that. Hey Samuel, welcome. Viper Taha, welcome to the chat. I'm glad you could join us. Mr. Pilak, welcome. Hey Paul, thanks for being here, man. We're incognito tonight. I'm not actually a budgie. Hey Mac Attack, welcome. Shale, welcome. Hey Washad, what's good tonight? Or what's good painting people? Very exciting. Hey Brian, welcome to the chat, man. Khador Pupper. I know, isn't it the cutest puppy? And he's got a little knife in his face. It's just, I mean, in his mouth. His face would be a different context. I guess I should be clear about that. Damn, I love when Miranda goes all deep lore. Yeah, Brian's actually got to see me do that a few times. Slight confession, I am logged into World of Warcraft because I have conjured water that I don't want to be gone because I go offline for more than 15 minutes because I'm laddering in PvP and I need it. So, and I pay mages to make it for me, so, you know. Anywho, yeah, so there we go. Welcome again. Right, so I've got, as I mentioned a few times ago, Privateer actually sent me like a whole bunch of their P3 formula paints. So I've gotten to play around with that a little bit more and get more experience with it. So I'm doing a little bit of this stuff. So on here we've got, oh wow, this is where the camera's super annoying, sorry. There we go. Focus on the thing in front of you. I don't know why this is so hard for a webcam. Alright. So, it'll focus here in a second. So everything that's brown will then get covered in red, because I'm going to do the brown as the sort of undercoat. And then I have this, what is it called? Moldy ochre. Ochre is the color for the dog, and then the brown is also going to be for the red armor there. And then her stuff looks like she's got sort of an off black outfit going on with pure black boots. I'll do the black boots, but I'm actually going with a gray here, and then I'm going to black wash it and see how that works. Just when you paint with a lot of black, there's just so much negative space that I worry about losing detail in her. So the goal is to try and avoid that. We'll see. Anzu, Greylord are my kind of faction. Yeah, I don't generally play with the Greylord a lot because I have issues with a little bit of their morals. They try to steal an actual Iosian god who was in sort of an Anthak, hibernation of sorts, and, you know, caused a lot of trouble with that, but everybody was fighting over it. And then they've, you know, been a little bit underhanded, you know. Not all of Khador is this way, I feel like I always have to defend, like, the one good, you know, clean element of Khador, and then there's the rest of them, like crazy Khador, and just... The Greylords also are who provide the, oh my gosh, the Doom Reavers, the guys with the big swords and this mask on, and they're all crazy. Well, they provide those weapons to the Doom Reavers, which are filled with Orgoth magic that make them crazy, hence giving them the Berserk rule, where they attack somebody and then they have to attack someone else. Well, if you have a Greylord escort, which in this case is calling a Taskmaster, because I think they would get a very confusing and maybe backfiring connotation if they were to call her a Greylord escort. But, and they prevent that second attack from happening if you don't want it to, because you can accidentally kill your own dudes with it. So that's sort of the idea. I don't really have Doom Reavers, so I haven't really had her on high priority to paint, but she has a puppy, and just, it seemed nice, so we're just gonna do something nice and paint that. Crazy Khador, Canon Khador, Mortal Khador. Yeah, you know, there you go. Like the conscript Khador. I would almost say Crazy Khador, Canon Khador, and Conscript Khador would probably be more accurate. Hey Kahneman, welcome. Oh yes, do listen to Kahneman and press that like button. I do appreciate that. I do also want to make a quick announcement on my paint-in chats that, let's see here, so obviously I'm painting tonight, but I'm going to a bi-weekly schedule after tonight just because it's easier to keep up with some of my other obligations right now, if I can do that. So I won't be streaming next week, but I'll be streaming in the week after, and then every other week, and so on and so forth. So it also gives me a little bit more time to make sure these models are all getting painted up. So yes, like I was saying, let's get a little bit more of her painted. I need to finish getting a little bit of skin tone in there. I always remember Jeremy's advice with painting. I need to get a little bit more on here. Painting up in layers. So the model, the deepest recesses should get painted first if you can, because it's easier as you go upward to paint the next level higher. Alright, this isn't actually a P3 paint, this is still my Vallejo model color, but I felt like the color was appropriate for her, being a Khadoran living in the frozen north. Very, very, very light skin. So, anyway, what are you guys all working on tonight? It seems fitting now that we're toward winter, right? I agree. To get it out of the way, Miranda, Visage has updates. Oh no! I do want to watch you play Visage. It was really, like, the game was disappointing. You were totally fine, of course, but, like, after watching the, what was it? The beta, I guess, like beta footage or beta game? Whenever you were beta testing. Whenever you're playing that, it seemed so much more difficult. Now, did they increase the difficulty at all, Paul? Because that was a huge part of the element of it being scary. Because you'd mentioned that you couldn't even get killed in that first chapter, which was a huge change from before, where, you know, it was really difficult just to survive. Alright. There we go. Slowly getting her little hand painted there. Teeny features. Bi-weekly? Oh no, it's a good thing. It means that, you know, I can be more prepared. Rothian, hello. Building and painting some Lizardmen, Blood Bowl minis. Glad to catch the stream. Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. Anju, welcome. What rank are you in PvP, good madam? I just hit rank 7 this week of 14, which is Knight Lieutenant. So just got my gloves and boots, but my character's only level 59. She's not level 60 yet. And so I'm kind of milking those battlegrounds, the lower bracket battlegrounds as much as I can before hitting 60, because Alliance basically perma-lose at that point, unless you're in pre-mades, and then I'm going to have to be pretty decently geared to get into any sort of pre-made group, which I've been doing. So I have some other gear that I've been amassing slowly as I do this, but that's where I'm at now. My goal is to hit rank 11. We'll see if I make it that far, but I definitely want to have all the blue PvP items. The sneaky vigilance are always the most trustworthy. Hey Joe Cordova, welcome. I'm sure that God just owed the Greylords money they lent him. And those weapons are for protection. Have you seen where Doom Reavers live? It's dangerous to go alone. Yeah. Tonight I'm working on Zeb. Next time I'll do Sabine, which I'm dreading for detail. I want to find acrylic rads for Canon and Ezra's lightsabers before I paint them. Ooh, nice. Working on Circle of Burrows Reeves tonight. Ooh, nice. I hate those guys. Biweekly means... You mean fortnightly. Yes, there you go. I really didn't need to point out that. Sorry, just journalistic instinct. NPC for an upcoming narrative campaign. Maybe. She would be an interesting character to have. Tonight I'm assembling skeletons and Draugr from Elder Scrolls. Call to Arms. Hey, Chuck, welcome. Just finished watching Barbarians, first season. Ooh, I haven't seen that. What was that, like Netflix or something? Which reminds me, I need to pick your brain sometime for War Machine references to add into Warcaster. Yeah, for sure. Hey everyone, I'm just starting Jarl Lengertha from Bad Squiddo Games group paint project on another YouTuber's channel. Ooh, how fun. Don't mind me. I just choke on my own spit sometimes, it's fine. One of the things I did notice about the moldy ochre paint is that this one probably actually needs to get thinned a bit because my puppy has lost a tiny bit of detail. It'll focus, I swear. And so I just need to get it to, oh my gosh, this freaking camera, I just hate it so much. Do the thing. There we go. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this thing. Anyway, the puppy has a little, like the paint comes off a tiny bit thick, and so you can tell it a little bit on the details. It has more of a, like an actual paint texture to it. So I did notice that. So if you are using moldy ochre, probably worth actually thinning that paint. Let's see, this is just updated, but Dreadlands did too. Ooh. Same, I went to get the terrain at some point. It's kind of great since they have really nice single player mode. Yes. Okay. Right, so I've gotten some of the gray down, which I like the way that looks. I'm semi-copying this. I figured this would be a decent guide to go off of. So that's essentially it. I still have my own Khador red that I'm going to be using. And this staff seems like it's sort of a solid black. And oh good, it looks like they made the magical bits actually raised, so it's a lot easier to dry brush. They did send me the necrotite green, so I'm excited to give that a try because it's super neon and it's going to be really crazy. So I did that. Did see the Dreadlands update. Apparently dungeons and co-op are in play now. Ooh. So Dreadlands is, I don't know, I guess, well, I wouldn't say it's XCOM, but it's a turn-based strategy fighter game from Fat Shark. Yeah. Fun. You guys should give it a go. Let's see here. And then I also have all of this white to paint on her. It's actually a little bit intimidating, so I just keep poking at her skin and making sure that that's, you know, solidly on there. This one does require a few layers. The paint is pretty thin on its own. Part of probably why I don't ever seem to have problems as far as needing to thin my paint, but we're just going to make sure that she has got that on her. I know that's probably horribly distracting. And then we can finish the rest, because she's also got like gray hair that we're going to have to, I guess, dry brush up, because the gray would be the low area. So she's going to have a very black and white sort of monochrome theme going on. Evening, everyone. Hey, David. Hope all is good. By the way, I got Disney Plus and I watched The Mandalorian and I'm shocked at how good it was. Like 80s Star Wars. Kind of skipped Rise of Skywalker. It was awful. I'm warming up to P3 paints. I wish we had them in Spain. With Brexit looming, they're going to be hard to import from Element Games. Well, everything's temporary, so hopefully that gets a little bit easier for you. Alright, so black boots. She's got some armor, but she's kind of, her feet are a little bit buried in the dirt here. She's kind of slogging around in the mud, I think, so we're not going to worry too much about that. We are, however, going to go ahead and get some more gray on her. As soon as I figure out where I put my gray, might be helpful. You're not gray. You're that weird pew screen that I seem to enjoy putting on everything. What did I do with it? Apparently it's going to be one of those nights. Nope, nope. There we go. Just randomly decided it needed to go into the back of the pile. I'm drinking. Don't drink too much, Brian. Be careful, man. Some of us care about you. Yeah, I haven't seen the new season of Mandalorian. I did watch the first one. My friend had Disney Plus and showed it to me, and it was a lot of fun. I have not seen the new season because she's not around. I can't go see her, and I'm not willing to buy Disney Plus. So I guess, you know, at the end of the day, it's my fault. But, you know, it's fine. I'll get around to these things. Let's see. She's got such pretty hair. I want to make sure that it's appropriately covered. It's so funny how gray hair has become like this common thing for women to have, I guess, at a much younger age, I should say. Because this broad is obviously like 28. Well, I know her hair swoops over here. So painting gray on gray is always a little bit tricky, but we're getting there. Also, we'll show you how I do the white. Because you don't want to just have pure white either, just like pure black. Like pure white ends up just looking crazy on the character. Now I'm sure most of you already know how to do it. That's fine. Painting Kador, awesome, that's right. Get around to it sometimes. Last week was Grimkin. This week is Kador. And you know, it's one of the minicrate models, but they're pretty inspired models, you know. So definitely can't complain. There it goes. That should be her hair, which is going to need a brush up of the white. But while we do have the gray in hand, it's also going to go into some of these corners. Finish this dry brush work, or not dry brush, base coat work. This is always the slowest part, at least to me, for me. But it's peaceful. It's also peaceful work. Alright. Let's see. So making sure all that's painted up. Promise I will look at the chat here again in just a moment. Just making sure. Got her. That's her hand. So that's fine. That's fine. This will probably largely be that white, so also fine, because we're going to be essentially painting white over the gray. And then always looking at the underside of your model to make sure you don't miss a whole bunch of stuff, which is always good. And then we can get back to Poppy, because she's so cute. Okay. before I spill it everywhere. We don't need another incident of last week. Hey, Bill, welcome. Spain doesn't have Turbo Dork either. Ah! Time to open up a P3 smuggling operation. I know, right? I'm waiting for either all or most of it to air. The reason cable is failing is trying to string out content to their schedule. Some days I have 3 hours to watch, other days I do not. Oh, I completely understand. I watched the first 3 episodes of the new season of The Boys, and then they're like, tune in again next week. And I was like, guess I'm not watching the show. And I just haven't gone back. Like, there just has not been a reason to come back. So. Uh-oh. Making sure my character didn't log out. Okay. Okay. We're good. Everything's fine. I say I'm a firm believer in letting users decide the pace they watch something, like what Netflix does. Like what Netflix does for now. And I could see the exception being if you're not paying for it, but yeah, if you're actually paying for a service, then no. Cool, the only reason I'm getting gray hair now is to be cool. Yeah, basically. You can come watch Mando. Melinda! You are around! I didn't know that. Yes, let's set that up. Is the whole season? Well, if they're doing it only weekly, then let's wait for the whole season and then binge it. I'll buy food. What is that model? It looks like a Russian Napoleonic trooper. Yeah, kind of. So she is a Greylord Taskmaster. Actually, here she is. She is of the Privateer Press minicrate, one of those models. So, yeah, this was the July model. So it says, even though I get it the month after? I don't know. Anywho. Miranda's not watching chat. All hail my oath. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do you need to be put on silent? Only they had those figure holders to paint with in the 90s. Well, a lot of people use the bottles with a cork and tacky stuff. Green stuff. Coral doesn't do scrapyard rollers. They also are not flat junkyard bases. They have stuff like corrugated steel panels and angles pointing up. Yes. Yeah, it's working on a feat for Funkin' Jacobton for my Halloween stuff. Very nice. What game is Miranda playing? Painting? There's a show you may enjoy, Miranda, Truth Seeker, a comedy horror by Nick Frost and Simon Pegg about ghosts. Wow, I do like those two. All the boys are up, so binge it anytime. Yeah, I know, I'll binge it at some point. It's just now, I felt a little salty about it when they did that, and then I've just made it really low priority. It's not much of a surprise, wow. Does she have a puppy with that mini? Yes, the miniature comes with said puppy. In fact, here is said puppy. Ta-da, she's so cute. I don't know. Puppy's probably a girl. I'm basically going to paint it like my old dog. So. Hey, Ender, welcome. There you go, Bill. I use sticky tack and popsicle sticks for my small, oh gosh, 15-minute figures. Wow, wow, wow. Been watching Screen Rant. Yeah, I actually love that. Love those, that is the only thing I watch on Screen Rant, but yeah, it's hilarious. Miranda is great. Okay, I'm stalling. So, here's my thought. There's this Manoff white base that is definitely an off-white color. You can see it as compared. So I figured if I do my, if I do the fur in this color and then dry brush it this color, it will look bright white without looking like it's lost all detail on Earth. I still wonder whether or not these paints need to get thinned. They are feeling a touch on the thick side. Whatever, we'll find out. But I think I might just paint her boots first. So fluffy. Biorhythm, welcome. It's okay, get food, whatever you need. Referring to my last question, where you were talking about reaching level, you were talking about reaching level 59 in a game. Just a few minutes ago, you checked to make sure you weren't logged out. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That's fair. I am playing World of Warcraft Classic. and have been for like the last year, and I'm playing entirely too much of it, but really enjoying it. So that's where I spend a fair bit of my time. And then my character's been, the character in particular I was referring to is a druid who's level 59 out of 60, who has been in a lot of player versus player games to rank, which gets you certain rewards, but it takes weeks and weeks and weeks, which has been nothing but smooth sailing, so yay on that. You can tell this black is so dark, like I'm probably gonna end up dry brushing something on here, probably maybe some gray again, I don't know, just to get back up to some detail because it's such negative space. But I feel like she would use black, you know, she would wear black boots. She seems like kind of a black boot kind of girl. Oh, she might even seem a little bit like a jackboot kind of girl, but we won't go there. Just get our happy little details in. And then the very tip of her feet are actually armor plates, which I'm not sure if I'll do or not. We'll see. Miranda, do we have to have a intervention about you and your WoW addiction? No, I can quit anytime. I may have bought a 6-month subscription though, so I'm not going to. Although it is why I don't necessarily play other video games. Sorry, Paul. Off-white, super easy, barely can. Hey, Badger, welcome. Kind of hooked on 7 Days to Live. It's like Minecraft PvP with zombies and a horde night every 7 days. Secret bases and player-based raids and tension as they loot your gear. I hate people stealing my stuff. It's the worst. Thinking about WoW that I started in 2004, I think, and ended in 2006 or 7. I remember 40-man raids on Ventrilo. Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, it was one or the other, generally. And I think Ventrilo ended up having better quality early on, and then like TeamSpeak sort of pulled ahead, and then, yeah, it died. So it was, I think, 3 years, because it came out toward the end of 2004, and it was about 3 years before the very first expansion came out for the Burning Crusade. And now we get to relive all of those days again with WoW Classic. Because, and yeah, I mean, the 40-man raids came out right away. There's 3 of them right now, and the 4th one will be releasing December 5th, I think. So my guild is starting to get ready for that. And it's supposed to be the hardest one, so we'll see, because we've kind of face rolled every other raid thus far, because the guild is full of like insanely good players, and they're also like, has the benefit of them being really casual, so it's like, oh, this is just, it's definitely not the experience I had in original WoW. I struggled mightily. My guild at the time struggled mightily to get anywhere. But the new, optimization, I guess, in WoW Classic has definitely made everything feel a lot easier. But it's been chill. It's very much an actual fun game with an actual community again. Unlike, in my experience, retail, where people turn off the chat function because people are such jerks to each other that you don't interact. Speaking of jerks, it was a little bit of a conversation earlier today. So, technically, the war dog is a separate model. Like, they're not attached to the same base on their own. You choose to do that. And I was asked, would you like your war dog on his own separate base so you can be a little war dog? And I said no. Because anytime I fight a War Machine player, they always want to shoot my dog, and I am not going to let them shoot at a puppy. At least here, if I'm even playing her at all, I can argue that they're shooting her, but I can't let them shoot a puppy. So, anyway. That makes sense. played WoW for about a month a decade ago. Is it worth revisiting in 2020? Oh man, I have a really hard time recommending WoW. It's such a specific kind of game, and it does have some very addictive qualities, so I can't in good conscience say, oh yeah, you should spend your time playing this, because you can probably do much better things with your time. I have personally enjoyed the experience and fun, but most of that is the community. What black are you using on the boots? This is Thamar black from P3. So it's a solid inky black, which you can see it's definitely there. I only focused for like 2 seconds. Yay. Okay, so there you go. Progress track. 801. Yes, we're making it. We're getting there. Cyberpunk 2077 got pushed back to December 10th. Sorry. Hates people stealing their stuff. Has a cat. Yeah, well, she doesn't steal my stuff. My cat is generally somewhat kind of decently behaved-ish. She actually doesn't get up on tables or knock stuff over generally because she knows we don't like that. I sold my WoW account back in the day for 2,000 being Grand Marshal and having both Glaze of Azinov. Jeez, that's impressive. A lot of people are pushing the Grand Marshal stuff, and a lot of them have it now, but that is crazy. Don't play EVE Online, trust me, both frustrating and addicting if you like open-ended sandbox with player-driven economy. I love the stories about EVE Online, but I don't know that I would personally play it. A lot of people dismiss retail content, but it's developed over the life of the game. The experience depends a lot on who you play with. Well, right, and after Burning Crusade, I didn't even play in a guild anymore, and I think that just made the experience so boring for me. Like, an MMO shouldn't just be a one-player game, but at the same time, I didn't want to try and find a guild and go through all of that effort, essentially. It'll be interesting with Shadowlands coming out, because they're squishing everybody back to level 60, so I feel like they're trying to really grab back toward the new players. So, we'll see. Don't we all seem like black boot girls? Yes, evil as cats. See 007 films. Never heard of the Greylord Taskmaster. She is a... There should be an R in that somewhere, yes. She is a special one-off model who is a proxy for Greylord escorts. And yes, it is a minicrate model. Love 7 Days to Live. I'm a tunnel rat burglar. I mine underground and try to break into people's bases and steal their stuff. No! Is the 4th raid going to be Naxxramas, Miranda? It's a lot harder than previous content in Classic. Yes, Naxxramas is the final raid, the final frontier, and we'll see what happens with WoW Classic after that. I don't know. I mean, I expect it to be a difficult dungeon. We'll see how hard it is. Because AQ is supposed to be a pretty significant step up, and it was somewhat, but, I mean, my guild blew through everything and killed Cthulhu the first night, so. And the other thing is we all have the benefit of 2020 hindsight. Like, everybody's able to prepare for something like Naxxramas now, knowing what the content is. It's not a surprise the way there's, you know, some previews hinted at, and then people only just started really grinding gear when it dropped. So, different thing. Wow, the murder hobo game for me. So many things to collect in WoW, I know. That makes sense. I've gotten into fantasy a lot more lately, and I've been looking into something similar to Overlord. Got to go next time. Bye, Gred, thank you. I remember on WoW doing a lot of work in the guild and got very little for it. Yeah, I know that is the dynamic for some people. I think I'm just kind of, I don't know if I'm just, my guild is very unique. I am very happy with it, exactly the way things are. But I know a lot of people in there do work pretty hard, and so I contribute where I can. Miranda spends hours on WoW, I spend hours on Doom. Okay, thank you about the boots. Wow, thank you, Myra. That's very nice of you. After the first year or two of WoW back in the day, MMOs lost their magic. I don't know. I think it again goes back to like who you experience that game with. As Lorraine was saying, like being in a guild makes such a big difference versus being outside of a guild. I was a no mage, and I remember undead rogues ganking me a lot. Dude, mages rule the game right now. They AoE grind dungeons. You can have your level carried for you, like where you can pay a level 60 max level mage to go into a somewhat lower level dungeon and just blow everything up and get your lower level character to gain massive amounts of XP very quickly. So they sell gold runs. They obviously make water. They sell portals. They are everybody's alt right now. Everybody makes money making an alt with a mage, except me, because I hate mages. Because as a warrior, they're the worst. But yeah, mages are constant. And I don't know, I think they're like the god class of the game. And yeah, rogues can get them, but rogues have a hard time with it even now, especially if you're Frost. Unless the MMO is the Old Republic, that game is the absolute epic, either single player or with friends. Come on over to Storm Rage. The guild I'm in is always recruiting. Nobody likes Fairbanks. Appreciate the thought though. Yeah, the level squish has happened, so current max level is 50 right now. Apparently you can level up a new tune to max in 5 hours, but more like 20 to 25 with expansion catch-up mechanics next week. Have a good night, Mac Attack. Thanks for being here. And I already lived through the days of Diablo 2, Dark Age of Camelot, and Horizons, and some others in the mid-2000s. Them's were the days. Oh, I know it. AQ was considered hard at the time, but once people knew it was dubbed 2.5, not a proper tier upgrade. Fair point. Get ready to farm nothing but frost resistance potions for Nax. Well, I may have gotten ahead of that and found like frost resistance items that I've just been holding on to since forever. Hey, Adeptus Ridiculous, welcome. I wouldn't employ Leroy Jenkins to work in a nuclear power plant. You guys here speaking about fantasy stuff. Hero Quest is coming back. Nice. Anyone excited to play Mantix Armada? I am not familiar with that one kingdom. Did you ever play Wildstar when it was a thing? I remember hearing about it. I didn't play a whole lot of MMOs. It was like Dungeon Runners a bit, and then it was oh gosh, Warhammer Online. Which they wanted it to be, what was it, Age of Reckoning, Warhammer Age of Reckoning, so that people would call it War, and then everybody just called it Who, because it was Warhammer Online. It's one of those like hilarious moments of sociology that I enjoy. Alright, now we need to get the painting on all of this stuff, and we need a decent brush. This will be a good brush for this. And I am going to thin this out a bit, because I do worry a bit about paint being a touch thick. It feels a little leathery. So we're gonna okay. Alright, this is kind of looking the way I want it to. Night Condiment, thanks for being here. See Hero Quest and keep thinking Heroscape. Hero stole my thunder, but honestly, he can have it. The best thing about Hero Quest is more Hero Quest. The best thing about Hero Quest is the Barbarian. The best thing about Hero Quest is the Gargoyle. Wow, everyone's so excited about Hero Quest. Well, good. No, I have not. I'm not familiar with it, but I guess I'll have to give it a go. I mean, familiar with it. I haven't played it. There's so many games I haven't played. It's like when you start looking at how many are out there, it's actually really daunting. All right. That is actually a pretty thin coat. That's probably a little too thin. There we go. Yeah, this, I think I'm happy to have thinned it. I'll just clean up my little messes here. think I over wetted it now. Ugh, it's always hard finding the right mix. But yeah, I'm good there. And now for the hat. God, it seems like this might have been a better color for my puppy instead of the moldy ochre, but whatever. It's interesting how this base white is not really white. It's really just a light yellow. But it's a very usable color as an undercoat. So you have white, but you know, with detail. Okay. Now it's just a matter of covering all of this stuff. Excuse me. Oh, actually, PP paints. I know. I'm so proud of myself. Oh my God, my druid got leveled out or kicked out. Hold on. I need to sign her back in. It's very important. World of Warcraft. Excuse me. Have you heard of a possible release date for Iron Kingdom's Requiem? They announced the Kickstarter for 2021, so I'm expecting at least 2 months, but I have no idea the actual date. Still a bunch of people who play Diablo and Diablo 2. Well, yeah. Oh no, I don't want to play regular. Get me out of here. Ew. Load. Classic. Wow, why would you even default to that? Gross. Sorry. For like bad taste in my mouth over retail. It's probably unwarranted anymore, but. I know, Kitty, it's fine. Well, they sent them to me, so I'm actually using them. I think time management is one of those inherent gamer skills we develop. Too many games, too little time. I think we waste a lot of our lives playing games, if I'm being completely blunt about that. Because games are very tempting. And so you justify it where you're like, I don't know, I can learn something from this game. I'm learning strategy. It's great. That's usually how I tell myself these things. But really it's a matter, it's if you want to time manage it, you just, I mean, having a job helps, I guess, because that sort of does that for you, right? Where you're like, well, I want to be able to keep playing these games, so I guess I better go to work in the morning. Alright, there we go. It's so pretty. I like this color actually quite a bit. Alright, sorry, this part I was hoping to maybe get done, but then I had to make my thumbnail, and then I had to eat a little bit of food before, I don't know, whatever. Insert excuse, I guess. Just didn't give myself enough time to start on the base coat, so I apologize if this is super boring. But, you know, you gotta paint within the lines, so. It's also a little awkward trying to, like, get it all to be viewable on the webcam with all of this too, so we're doing what we can. So some white-ish. It's the Menoth base white. Menoth white base. Sorry. So that's what that looks like. Wow. I'd expect several months after if it's a Kickstarter. Maybe. Time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. Unless you regret it later, because yes, you enjoyed that time, but you really needed to be doing something else, which is usually the struggle I have. Alright. Now I had to go to a smaller brush because of the little details here in the front. So we're just gonna fill all that in. This brush was too wet though. And I tend to go too quickly, I guess, sometimes, or I won't let the brush dry off enough. Well, well, well. What are you painting, Miranda? Hey, Adaptus Ridiculous. Thank you for the super chat. I am painting a Greylord Taskmaster. She's a mini crate model for July. Here's the actual like picture they give with it. So Greylord Taskmaster comes complete with baby war dog puppy, war puppy. It's pretty awesome. So, and I've had her for a while. I've just needed to paint her. So that's what we're doing today. Just giving her boots some fur, because, you know, she's one of those girls who has boots with the fur. Is the song right? It's not boring. Whatever, Paul, I think you're biased. Try working for a game company and talking about wasting your time. Oh, start telling me how you really feel. Fun is also very subjective. On that note, please chat. Tell me on why to play Diablo. So last time I was working on some rules for my mutants game yesterday, I made a huge milestone. I finished the mutations that actually make the game. That's awesome, Patrick. Congratulations, man. Now, are you planning, I guess you were kind of wanting to make it, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Are you planning to do a Kickstarter for that game? Is that something you're actually trying to market? Because I kind of don't remember your answer, and I don't want to guess. War Budgies. Congrats on another painting video. That was very nice. Should really be marketed as Adorable Cater Pupper. And also, there's a human in there. Fair. Yeah, that part of Visage was kind of boring, wasn't it? Did you ever read the rules for TSR Gamma World and 2nd and 3rd, 4th, and 5th editions? I'm sure your figure appreciates getting painted. So the model would look good with some red square crimson leggings. Red square, yeah, I guess so, but that sounds like more than I'm going to be doing. I am just a humble painter who just tries to get her stuff done in a semi-appropriate time frame. Sometimes pawns her work off on her friend Flo, but only sometimes. Plus Flo is being given terrain at this point because, yeah, it's necessary. Oh no, it's getting a skin painting out of the lid. Don't do that. Shh. This paint is so much thicker than what I'm used to dealing with. How funny. Alright. So I don't know that my goal will be will be reasonably to get the model finished by the end of the stream, but I am hoping to at least have her fur done with all the highlights, because I think that will be one of the cooler features. And obviously we need to get Puppers done, because Puppers is, you know, pretty high priority as well. I just can't totally ignore her. She'd make a bad accessory if she's unpainted next to cute puppy. So much fur on this chick. Goodness gracious. Girl. I like to think they're using warp wolf hides. There we go. Alright, enough of my forehead. Still looking for plaid paint sprayer bottle. No, I don't plan on doing any Kickstarters. I want this game to be free and accessible. It's more important for me that people play it at all than making money from it. You could always print plaid onto a transfer decal and do it that way. Oof, that definitely sounds challenging. Free is good. You could look at pitching to Osprey Games. They seem to publish a lot of niche rule sets. Oh, that's a good point. I do plan on it being a lifetime project. I want to keep it alive though, through updates and more content, campaign threads, etc. Nice. Is there a Wargamer Girl Discord server? No, but yes, I'm working on trying to get one, but there is not one currently because I'm not sure. I don't know how to do things, but there's actual progress there because there is going to be an announcement for anybody who attended Valhalla this year that there's a Valhalla Discord server. So the invites will be going out to everybody who attended, for people interested in being in the know there. And someone made that one for me, so well, Dylan made that one for me because he actually knows that stuff. So I might have him help me make a Wargamer Girl one, just so there can be some more stuff there. Because I think a Wargamer Girl Discord could be kind of fun. It's just I just need a way to organize it so that it's something I can keep up with. That's all. That's always the trick there. Man, this off-white is looking very old lady. There we go. And I'm also getting bored painting fur. So much fur. Yes, we get it. You've got like Holiday Barbie written all over you. What's the matter? Miranda, one thick coat today. Hey Mikey V, welcome. Be a good way to find people to play the digital RPGs and tabletop simulator. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Okay. We have a fair bit of this fur on here. I guess I'll just fill in a couple of the details and then we can move on away from this because it's already 8:23. Oh my god. Alright, so we're just finishing up this little cuff here, and then we can go back to puppy. I think going back to puppy sounds more fun for the moment. So there's this little bit of fur here. Every time I turn around, there's more fur. My goodness. I'm not going to let that paint get too runny. So funny how much time we spend like these teeny tiny little details. But they make such a difference on the model when you get them right. Especially when you do stuff like rivets or like on my cockatrice when I went back through and got all the stitching. I was very happy with how that came out. She's got little chains that she's holding on to there, so I'm not too worried about that. Alright, boots, fur, done. I don't think puppy needs any of this color either. Okay, great. Let's do it. If you end up getting a Discord server, it'd be cool to have a channel where people could share pictures of their models. And that would absolutely be the case. I would love that. It'd be a good source of inspiration. Maybe that would be the channel name. Inspiration. Alright. You don't have to look, but I'm painting my Kador red, which means I have to use my craft paint tomato red. Otherwise, those colors won't match. I haven't opened this since Valhalla. It was actually pressurized. How funny. Okay, let's use this monument one size and get that on there. So again, I did an undercoat for my puppy of brown because I think the red will show up better on it. And usually I need to use a couple of layers of this red because it's not that thick. I'm getting the little bit of red I got on my puppy's face off of his face. Okay, so it'll show up a little stronger against the brown rather than against the gray. So that's why I'm doing that. He's so cute with his little football helmet. That'd be interesting, Patrick. We can figure something out. We need to sort out next year. See what the heck is happening next year. Goodness. I know 2020 has been a bad time for face-to-face wargaming, but just wanted you to know I rewatch your battle reports every week working at home, and the other battle reports are awful in comparison. Thank you, Biorhythm. I am glad you enjoy them. I do still have my next Space Hulk mission that is in the works. It just got delayed, as so many things have, and yes, I am admittedly playing probably too much WoW, but it will be out at some point, so there is actually going to be new content, so I'm happy to be able to tell you that. Aw, he's totally going to have these little silver, I think he's going to have gold rivets actually. Because all of these little raised bumps look like they would, I mean, it seems like studded leather is kind of what he's wearing. Yes. Hooray. He looks so cute with his little red armor. Gosh, my war dog is actually one of the oldest models I have, too. I don't really need much of an extra coat of red on here because it showed up really strong with that blood tracker brown on the bottom, so yay! Save some time there. Cute little puppy in his helmet. There we go. And you can get his eyes in there. And then he's got this little brown nose. Would I do a brown nose or would I do a white nose? Or I'm sorry, white nose. Black nose. I'm doing great. Paying lots of attention. No, they were terrible. I stripped them and repainted them. Oh my gosh. How would you do that? When is Valhalla 2021 an announcement? I need to mark it on my calendar. I don't know. It'll be probably in February. Well, the actual Kickstarter happens in March, and then the announcement's a little earlier. Where is Valhalla? Is that the game store with the fireplace? It's not a game store. It's just a huge cabin we rent. But there is a large fire. There are multiple fireplaces. Let's see. Yes, thank goodness for video conferencing, indeed. Nice doggy. I painted my Signar Patrol dog, like my dog's Spot. Experimenting with 3-color palette. Green, purple, and orange. Yeah, why make it easy on myself? Okay, so back to our puppers. It does need a brown handle, and we should get that mouth, the knife on there all painted up. He's also got a teeny tiny little chain, like a collar chain, because, you know, he's on a leash. so we can get that on there too. Let's get that done. Alright, we're gonna get this metallic on, and I'm gonna use this brush. Yeah, this brush has been actually really good for getting into tiny details without having to be as hyper detailed as getting eyeballs. I have my one eyeball brush right now, so I need to preserve it. Okay. Alright, there we go. And then I'll put the brown handle on, and then the knife is basically done because, you know, it's not a whole lot to it. The poppers. Yes, indeed. Hey, Austin. Welcome to the chat, man. Miss your War Machine bat reps? Well, me too. But I might be able to get back to some, especially if I do like a solo play game or something. There we go. Cute little puppy. Alright, so I'll put that back up, and then I'm going to bust out the black and get his eyeballs painted in. Is the pizza safe? Wow. Well, Patrick, you gotta let them know now. You can't just drop that on people. Pizza is an important staple of the gamer diet. Oof, my hand's all shaky. Drank too much tea. Aww, now he's got a little face. Puppy, puppy, puppy. Actually, I'm gonna give him a black nose because that's what my puppy had. Before she well, she was very old, but she died last year, and it was very sad. It's a very, very sad month. So, there you go, Daisy. We'll just sort of keep your puppy ears renewed. There we go. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. Puppy. And then we'll get a little bit of a wash on him. We'll probably do like a sepia to get him a little bit dirtied up without it being too crazy. And then I can dry brush if I need to bring any of it up. I think that would be nice. $8:34. Okay, guys. It's time for another progress check. How are your projects going? What are you up to at this moment? What does everything look like? Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. 2 out of 3 skeletons assembled. Nice work, Tad. 2/3 of the way there for the assembly part. You just gotta keep breaking it down so it feels like progress. Butchering a WizKids mini and trying to finish a Warcaster Jack. Now, you got the Eternus Continuum, didn't you? My oven handle broke, so I had to break in to get the pizza. Put another episode of my webcomic today. Oh, nice. Writing my book. Sorry, not as interesting as mini painting. You're writing a book! That's of course super interesting. What are you talking about? I've ordered some 3D print parts for the Millennium Falcon. I'm working with fiber optics to LED light it all. Oh, wow. Very nice. Drum roll. It's Blood Bowl Elfheim Eagles doing 3, and I've done 2. Only 15 to go. Painting Menoth racks and some Pharaoh Warcasters. They need a wash, but I don't want to mess the paint job. Well done on the peppers. Shaky shake, I know. No, I don't drink coffee. I haven't drank coffee all year. It's just been Earl Grey tea. Attempting to finish an Infinity unit, which was purchased so long ago I cannot remember the name of it anymore. Oh no! I got the ISA and the Continuum for videos. And may or may not have picked up Marcher Worlds as well for today for bat reps. Yeah, Marcher Worlds seem really strong. Honestly, I found the Iron Star Alliance to be super weak, but I was probably playing it wrong. We've just gone into another lockdown here in the UK. Yeah, Paul was telling me about that. So I'm making it a mission to paint all 30 of my Termagants before things return to so-called normal. I've never actually work on projects while you stream. Computer and work are not in the same room. Fair. Editing season 5. Base coats and some lining detail are on. To do bow rifle, some bright orange details, and freehand on the shoulder armor. Then wash, do the eyes, and highlights. Excited to use my purple wash. Nice. Earl Grey is the superior tea for sure. I'm sure, Adeptus, you are staying insanely busy with your stuff. Paul also drinks Earl Grey. It's really why we're friends. Miranda, do you know what you're painting next week? It would be fun to do a paint-along. Kitty does knit-alongs all the time. No, because I usually think about what I'm going to paint like the day of. Also, I'm going to a bi-weekly schedule, so it won't be next week. It'll be the week after before I paint again. I'm almost finished with my Space Hulk Terminator. It's awesome. Well, you see, I guess what that means there, Patrick, is Kitty is a better planner than I am, and probably more organized. You've seen my house. Like, I'll get there one of these days. All right. I forgot to get the red on her blouse. I was so excited to paint Kate a red puppy, and then I just forgot about this part. So we actually need to get the red on her little loincloth thingy, too. That would look cool. Sort of mostly follows the pattern of the card they provided. But she's got to have some red. How do you know she's Kador if she doesn't have some red on her? There's people who think she's some weird Menoth model. Can't have that. Heresy. Cleaning the mold lines off the Rocket Girl. Wow, your state just made history, apparently. Oh, did it? Is it for something good this time? Usually we get on really bad lists. Alright, so all these little brown bits now have to become red bits. It would also help if I didn't careen the brush into my model. Probably helps. Ho hum. Wonder what training attack dog is like in War Machine. Good boy, go tackle the 20-foot walking steam jack. Well, they do have countercharge, so they are definitely defensive, trained to be extremely protective. And they also, I think, are designed to harass, because they use, I guess war dogs are a real thing, And so your Warcaster gains +2 to their attack. And they also are only for Warcasters. Like, nobody else gets the benefit of them. Alright. We've got some colors going on so far. Hooray! Now I think we can actually start dry brushing some lighter bits. I need to paint her staff. All of New Mexico's house reps are women of color, I just read. Ah, okay. I mean, it's probably not too surprising. We are a majority state, so it's cool. Honestly, as long as they just do their job, kind of don't care. Just hope they do it. It's a historical problem in New Mexico, so again, hoping they just do their thing, please. The Isle of Right. I believe the way to train a war dog is to attack steamjacks. To attack steamjacks is to hide meat inside the jack. I mean, in the case of Kharchev, I guess that kind of works. Oh, I need to paint the staff. It's probably gonna be they have this really cool looking gray staff. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to do gray. Get that on there. Let me check my character. Apparently somebody wanted my druid to tank something. But I'm busy hanging out with you guys. Isle of Wight? W-I-G-H-T? Huh. I don't know what that is. Alright, painting more gray. Gray on the gray. The bright side is gray covers. Ah! Why do I keep doing this? I keep accidentally attacking my model with paint. Because I'll move around I don't know, I'm just a spaz apparently. This little dot of whatever. Anyway, it's done. It's done. Horus has had 2 Argus hounds. Yeah, but he's the butcher and he's evil, and I don't play him or have him, so, you know. Adorable Kadoran War dog. And those dogs were actually going to get put down. They weren't even, like, trainable until, like, the butcher came along and they're like, oh crap, this guy's crazy, we better not piss him off. And then he's like, oh, they must want to be my friend. And then that's basically how he adopted those dogs. But I think they are actually planning to put them down because they were so feral. But, you know, so's the butcher, so. Chatter. Alright, now I've got lots of gray all over this model. I think I'm painting with too small a brush. Let's paint with a bigger one. Yes. Alright. I think everything is officially base coated, so that's pretty good. Well, her hand isn't. I guess that's true. But Pupper needs a little bit of cleanup on the yellow, the moldy ochre, and then after that, I think it's pretty good. This is that gray. Okay, great. Hand is extra spazzy today. And the puppy has no gray. None. Love Butcher. Butcher is the worst. Why would anybody like the Butcher? He's just awful. purple. I love purple. Oh, to the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. It's a random side note, but thank you. I think Michael Keaton was the best Batman. Pritchard was in shock at the time after being confronted by Sorsha. He felt he was trying to prove being a feral killer doesn't mean you're bad. Oh, I guess, except he is a feral killer and he is bad, but sure. He, I guess, didn't understand why Sorsha would leave him to die after he, you know, murders her father, but I'm sure he doesn't even remember because he gets these hazes, right? I don't care for the pity of the picture. It just is gross to me. Alright, green stuff is drying and I'm tired. Night, folks. Night, War Budgies. I do have the Santa version of the butcher. That's like even worse. Like, who's gonna trust their kids around the butcher? Like, even Kador, like, they're not gonna do that. Like, Ein Vanar wouldn't do that either. I'm pretty sure, hopefully. I don't know. She's a little of a nut, but I just felt that the places could be broad spectrum hobby stores were much more fun. Yeah, I agree. Alright, I need to get more of this Menoth white base in here because I keep missing bits. I forgot the tips of her loincloth. Alright, looking good, and then we'll do that thing. Alright, have a good night, bye Rhythm, thanks for hanging out. I feel like we need a Santa version of Boulder for Circle. Boulder class. Ooh, but would he be more like a Krampus? Which admittedly is more like Old Witch, but whatever. Have you guys seen the Krampus movie? It's so, so good. Okay. Man, this model has a lot of stuff going on. It's actually making me tired. I only have 10 minutes left to finish her. Ah! Santa version was a mini crate release. Oh, there was one? I didn't catch all of the mini crates. I got in a little bit late on it. But I have been enjoying them. Let's see. Let's take a teeny tiny brush and paint her teeny tiny hand. Everyone, speaking of Batman, I got a new Batmobile of a different color. Stay tuned on Miranda's Facebook. See, and if I had a Discord, then Adeptus Ridiculous. Do you use Discord at all? Is that a thing? Would you, And now her teeny tiny thumb. Oh gosh. That is so tricky. Alright. I think I'm actually pretty happy with how that came out. Touch up her fingers here. And clean up her face a little bit here since I got a little My hands are actually pretty shaky tonight. It's not boding well for this painting. Finally dropped minicrate. I was hoping for some jacks, but that didn't happen. No, I don't see them making jacks. They're not going to make any pieces that are going to be crazy complicated because they destroy the mold after a month. I can't imagine they would. Oh, good mechanics. I would be so in for Christmas-themed Grimkin models. Christmas tree, witchwood, reindeer, frightmare, Christmas elf, the child. Oh yeah, the Grimkin lend themselves extremely well to holiday fun. So I agree with you. I think that would be delightful. Okay, we're gonna get a bit this in there. I think it's probably safe to go ahead and start the dry brushing on the fur. So that part honestly seemed like the most fun thing to do so far. Again, I'm pretty happy with how Puppy turned out. Again, he does need a wash. I don't like Discord because it gets a little wonky. I've used it before, I like Facebook better. Okay. I had a manager called Steve Sands. Nice guy, but I think we couldn't work together. I was 16 and he had a relatively broad Northern Irish accent. Couldn't understand him. It was awkward. Confession. I do admittedly feel that way occasionally when I talk to Paul in Discord because he'll say something and I'll be like, I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? Because I spent all this time just thinking about what it is you were possibly saying, and I just couldn't work it out. So, you know, it is what it is. See, I still have minicrate. I don't get jacks, but we've gotten a war beast with the swamp siren. Yeah, I don't think I got that one, actually. No, I don't think I got that one. I probably got in after. Alright, we're almost there. So basically the last part I'm going to get to tonight will be the dry brushing of the fur, and that will be where I have to call it. So this model, it's kind of two, it's a little complicated. So far so good though. Miranda, watch more British broadcasting shows. Great for understanding and learning British dialects and accents. But I grew up watching a ton of BBC shows, but it was always like the old people comedies, like One Foot in the Grave, and Keeping Up Appearances, and oh, there's another one. There's one like Judi Dench I think was in too, and I loved those shows. But I guess they were all like probably middle class accents, I think is what they call it. Your accent is not nonsense. I just have trouble. I'll join Discord and chime in with all my Aussie witticisms. They say that a lot about a lot of stuff in master molds, the same as mini crates. They store them after 10 years, repackage it, and call it new. I mean, the whole point of mini crate is they specifically say, we destroy this mold when we're done, so I mean, I don't think they're lying. How you going, Kova? Fancy a Vegemite Sangha and the like? I do love the Australian accent. Back in the day, my old guild, way back in 2004 or 5, whatever. For whatever reason, there were a bunch of couples in the guild, so you know, there were a fair number of girls. And we ended up having some help from a player who's like a gnome mage, I want to say, and he was Australian. And all the girls in the guild we had like a little secret chat because you can open up a separate channel. And we would all talk about how we had to ask him questions so that he could keep talking because we all loved his accent so much. It was pretty ridiculous. We were ridiculous. So, Australian accents, the best. This isn't doing what I want. Why not? Alright, so we're dry brushing this white on. Sorry to keep hitting the camera. It just didn't make me so angry. This is trickier than I thought it would be. Have you ever heard of the British sci-fi called Red Dwarf? Of course. And the other sci-fi British, well, not British, it's Canadian. So never mind. But I watched Farscape a lot too. I feel like most nerds of a certain age and older know what Red Dwarf is. Yeah. Rimmer World. I visited the US once and literally got stopped in the street because people loved hearing it. Yeah, we're very entertained here. There we go. 3 skeletons completed. Gonna do drawer another time. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. My cat is named Lister after Red Dwarf. Wow, that's awesome. Red Dwarf was a weird one, but it was definitely charming. I think I'm going to get pretty heavy on this white dry brush. Definitely want this to be brighter than just this off-white. So, obviously not something I'm finishing tonight. Ho hum, I tried. You know, I got pretty far. So here's where we're gonna call it tonight for this. I'm gonna put the lid and cover this before something awful happens. There we go. Safe. Okay. So, ta-da! Here's our progress thus far tonight. She's definitely not finished. Could probably even do with another session to finish her. War Puppy is pretty well done. He needs the rivets added to the back of his armor, and then he also needs a wash. Her fur is coming along. She needs her face and then a bunch of little details, and then the staff has barely been touched at all. So, 50% done, I guess I'd probably say. So yeah. You got 2 minutes, you can totally finish. Nope, we're just calling it here. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Now give me your lunch money. Wow, guys. Oh, I love you nerds. Anyway, I guess I'll see you actually in 2 weeks now. Again, we're going to biweekly, and the goal is maybe she'll be done by then and we can work on a new model. So, thank you guys for hanging out. 3 colors for 12 models is too much for me yet. Only for now, Thomas, but you are getting stronger, probably. I believe in you. So, you guys have a wonderful night. What am I doing? I'm not even done streaming. I'm like putting this out of the way. Randomly look at my stuff. Anyway. Yes, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. So, take care, okay?